Teddy got close to the bright, shimmering light. He noticed that it was some kind of portal at the end of the closet. Teddy could hear the portal make a bubbly sound as Bear walked through the bright lights. Teddy wasn't sure if he should walk through or not. He knew that once he entered the portal, it was no going back. Bear stuck his huge teddy bear paw back out of the hole, directing Teddy to grab it so that he could guide him through the portal. Teddy grabbed Bear's paw, and Bear pulled him through the portal. While slightly scared and slightly intrigued by the view, Teddy was now inside the portal. The tunnel looked like it was wrapped in outer space, as Teddy thought to himself, "What a beautiful sight." Stars circled around as they walked. Teddy could feel the portal's energy transforming the worlds around him. Teddy was starting to catch up with Bear, but it was getting harder to see. The tunnel got darker and darker the further they went in. Bear grabbed the boy, sat him up on top of his head, and he began to run. Bear was enjoying the company. For a gigantic pudgy teddy bear, he was fast like wind. "Wow!" Teddy screamed as they ran. The small stars passed like small fireflies in the night. "Next stop, Wish-Away Forest!" Bear yelled out. He let out a deep chuckle while leaning forward, making the two go even faster. Teddy was having the time of his life. The two were now entering the Wish-Away Forest. The colors that once looked like small circles of brown, white, green, and blues began to look like clouds, trees, and water. It was the Wish-Away Forest. The trees in the forest were huge, and the grass was the greenest that Teddy had ever seen. He also heard sounds. A lot of sounds. They were standing in a forest full of different noises. Noises he had never heard before. He could hear the rush of water waves hitting against the rocks. As he turned to watch the water and its splashing, something amazing caught his attention. A huge waterfall. He stared at the beautiful waterfall as it rang in memories of his Papa North, speaking about taking showers at the bottom of a beautiful waterfall. Teddy had to get a closer view. He walked over and stood on a small cliff to watch the water. The waters were as blue as emeralds. Fish were jumping into the water's waves as if they were having a contest. The contest was about who would climb the waterfall first, and it looked like nobody was winning. These fish looked happy, though, and were enjoying the day in the Wish-Away. This was the first time he took a clear, full view of his new friend. Teddy looked over at Bear and noticed he was huge. He had to be standing 7 to 8 feet tall as they stood side by side. Bear stood staring off into the distance with a proud look on his face. It was like the look of a proud father staring at his son. "This land is full of mystery and creatures. Creatures like wampa worms, jagsiles, and fairies. It can be your enemy, or it can be home," he explained. Then, a sound came from the water. The two heard a loud splashing sound. Bloosh! It sounded like something blew a pool of water up into the air. Then, the teddy bear took off running as fast as he could. He ran like he was going catch whatever it was blowing water. He stopped to look back at Teddy. "Come on, Teddy, it's my friend," he yelled. "It's my friend!" So they both began to run. Bear threw Teddy on the back of his neck. "Hang on," he said as he began to run like the wind. Whatever that was had Bear excited, because Bear was moving like a train. "It's a whale!" Teddy shouted. The huge whale was blowing water out of its spout. "That's the sound I heard," Teddy said, while he laughed while hanging onto Bear's neck. Bear ran closer to the edge of the cliff. Now the whale was gliding through the waters underneath them. "Baluba!" Bear yelled. Teddy was not prepared for what was next. Bear threw his arms back and leaped into the air. He leaped so high up into the sky, it felt like he and Bear were flying. He noticed Bear was diving into the water. Bear put his hands out into a diving position, and Teddy felt like his stomach was disappearing. "They are moving way too fast for me," Teddy thought, but they barely made a splash when they hit. Sploosh! The teddy bear was a great diver. They torpedoed through the emerald blue waters. Teddy was having so much fun, but he couldn't believe what he was seeing. It was a huge whale coming towards them, and it looked like it was smiling. Teddy could feel the presence of the huge whale, so he gripped onto Bear's neck tight. He let out a scream, "Ha!" The sight of the whale's humongous eyes scared Teddy so bad he let go of Bear. He tried to swim his way back. He didn't know if the whale was friendly or not, and he didn't have time to find out. But it looked like the whale was trying to help, because Teddy was now on being pushed by the whale. The teddy bear was standing on the back of the whale by its tail, riding the whale like it was a surfboard. "Teddy, my friend!" Bear yelled out. "You are going to have a great time!" Then he shouted out, "Baluruba," chanting the whale's name. "We are officially in the Wish-Away Forest." They both began to laugh at Teddy's loss of words. Teddy walked up to Baluba and ran his hand across the whale's back.